See wireless M-Bus telegrams, put the data into an LP1 telegram and forward the data using another wireless technology. For example, any LP1 like LoRaWAN, Stackforce, but also mioty, of course.
It's pretty cool. So you have your own interpreter which bridges from one radio standard into the other world. And you provide a solution. Easy as that. All right. That's very interesting. So what applications are the end users or the target markets or applications for your product?
Wireless M-Bus is very well spread metering application, so that pretty much points to any kind of metering application to collect data sent by any meter and forward them to by using the LP1. But it's not limited to meters, so it's also possible to use that with sensors that are transmitting wireless M-Bus, like a smoke detector, for example.
So as I know you and I know Stackforce, you basically stick to your old expert knowledge and you say not one bridge fits all. I'm pretty sure there are differences and derivatives of your solution, since as we know we have much different connections you have to bridge, or information you have to bridge. So what are the differences and how do you use it?
Basically, we have two kind of use cases. One is the outdoor usage, for example, inside the sewer, as we can see in the video. In this case, the bridge is designed for a very tough and rough environment. It's waterproof and battery operated. And the second option is that to operate it in buildings, to collect multiple meters, for example. In this case, it's mains powered to be as responsive as possible.
All right, so it's a physical product, so the conditions where you can basically put or provide for your bridge to get into action, is there anything we have to consider or we have to take care of?
Basically, of course, you need to know what kind of infrastructure you have. So if you're connecting to a LoRaWAN, to a mioty network, you also should know about the meter you're connecting, you would like to receive, because if you would like to do some kind of filtering to optimize the data transport, then you also need to configure the bridge accordingly to properly do the job of filtering and optimization of the data communication to keep the communication as efficient as possible.
Very cool. So how much wireless M-Bus meters can be entertained by one bridge?
That's a very common question. Basically, the bridge is able to handle up to 25 meters. In the real world, this actually doesn't happen because there are typically no 25 meter devices in the range. So from that point of view, it's fully sufficient to basically handle any meter in range. And if someone has a very special use case, we can also discuss about extending the memory to handle that.
Yes, since you mastered the technology, of course, as you already said with your other solutions, we talked about stacks. There's not one stack fits all applications, so you can customize, if it makes sense, of course. So, transmission range, we talked about M-Bus to mioty bridge. Is there any limitation where you say, okay, this is the range, then it's all over?
Now the range is also given by the environment, so we are using what is possible according to regulation. So the device is sending and receiving, has very good designed receiving part, so we can have a very good link budget sensitivity of the receiver, and when transmitting using the LP1, we of course use what is possible to keep the range up as maximum as possible.
All right, very well. So now I take your bridge to the test. Can the bridge basically handle more than one wireless protocol? So like, you know, there are plenty out there. So do you have anything in your surprise box?
From receiving point, we can basically handle almost any wireless M-Bus dialect that's out there. So that pretty much only depends on the configuration. And for LP1, we support the major one, Stackforce, LoRaWAN, mioty. And currently, it's still, you need to choose when ordering the device which kind of LP1 you would like to connect to. But we are already working on the next generation, which then will include all LP1s, all the 3 named LP1s. So you can choose during installation what kind of LP1 you would like to use.
It's always fascinating when we talk. I always take something new with me, so I didn't know that an MBUS had a dialect. But you know, you never know everything. So it's always good to have an update what's going on out there. So last question, as we already talked about the stocks. So if I want to get my hands on such a bridge, what are the steps to proceed?
Rather easy. It's an off-the-shelf product, so you reach out for our sales team. They're happy to answer any question about the bridge itself, and can also support regarding configuration and usability for this or that application. And that's the easiest part. So head out for the homepage, fill out the contact form, or write an email. So the sales team is aware and waiting.
Well, of course. My main occupation is, of course, not making interviews. It's basically implementing sensors in the field. And I can only confirm what you just said. Get in touch with you guys, tell what you want. If you don't have it and there's a possibility and it makes sense to produce it, you will. If it doesn't make sense, you also will tell the customer to prevent him to take the wrong road. So it's easy to contact you. So guys, if you need a bridge, MBUS, Dialects, Sigfox, LoRa and mioty, Stackforce is the company to contact, and David is the man and his team. So don't think about calling him, do it.